There's an option. It says you can leave the meeting. Okay.
Sorry, you can't, Joe. All right, well, since we've started recording, then I better introduce Joe Whitney, our speaker for this evening. Joe is a life member of the ARRL, as well as a member of the Diamond Club Maxim Society. She's been an active VE since 1993 and has operated in 2004 as W1AW/7 from her home station and was a guest operator at WH7P. She's working on her DXCC with a current count of 80 mix. She's a founding member of the current member of the Yakima County Radio Amateurs and a member and previous officer of the Yakima Amateur Radio Club. She's also a registered nurse and currently our section manager for Eastern Washington. So may I?
Yes, that's me.
All yours, Joe.
I thank you. I'm current emergency coordinator for Yakima County. So I still have that.
I'm sorry I forgot that part.
That's okay. I was going like, wait a minute, was that there? Was that there? All I know is it like, okay, I got this stuff I got to do, and then I have this stuff that I have to do. So we're just kind of keep track of it. Well, I have been asked to speak to you about the benefits of being involved in being a member of ARRL. Since I became section manager following Jack, who decided not to run again, and I haven't had the opportunity to be at a ham fest. Well, there was a swap meet in Yakima, but I was also doing the kitchen, so I was all involved in cooking and didn't really have a table set up to talk about amateur radio and ARRL and that sort of thing. So this is my first run at this. I appreciate your patience with this. So I see that many of you have muted and some have photos and some don't. Of those that are on, who is not an ARRL member?
I'll take the first step. That's me.
Chris. Okay. So Chris, why aren't you a member?
Well, this must have my son's information up there. My name is Scott. I'm sorry. Yeah, why I'm not a member of ARRL. This got my license on the 28th of December.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So I've just been poking around and prodding around and feeling everything out. And I figured I'd listen to your presentation first and then decide from there. So I'm listening, and hopefully you can give me some words of wisdom that'll make me want to join ARRL. So I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking up, Scott. What's your call sign?
Sorry, it's KZ. Hold on, I forgot what it. KKZ CUC.
KKZ.
Charlie Uniform Charlie.
Kilo
7 Charlie Uniform Charlie.
KK7. Wow.
Yes, for tongue tied. Yes.
Well, it'll roll off the tongue really soon here.
Not right yet.
Keep using it. Keep using it.
Thank you.
So those that are members, anybody have a comment as to why they are a member?
Yeah, I would comment. I've been a member. Oh,
Mel, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been a member for, I think, over 25 years. And first off, I think it's the only organization we have in the United States that supports our rights and kind of defends us. And secondly, I think that it has become a way for people to connect at whatever level they are. I mean, there are some of us that are DXers, some of us are contesters, some of us are emergency, and some just enjoy rag chewing. And the ARRL is big enough, it's a big enough tent that it has all of our tribes in it. And so I have felt like it was a great service to us and well worth being part of it.
Thank you. Anybody else like to make a comment? He covered a
Sure.
lot of topics there.
Sure, I will as well.
Go ahead, Jeff.
The ARRL has provided is a pool where all of the knowledge of many years of many amateur radio people, all the new guys can tap into this knowledge by buying the books that the ARRL are putting out, antenna books and the handbook and everything else. There is everything that the ARRL provides, everything that a new amateur would ever need to know. And even those of us that have many years of background in electronics as well.
Mhm.
This is
And-
Frank, Alpha Golf 7 Quebec pop-up.
Go ahead,
And
Frank.
the reason I belong to ARRL is the same reason why I belong to the VHF Club, the Spokane DX Association, and my wood turning groups and whatnot. It's to support the, I can't say hobby, because it's more than that, but it's the association with others. And by grouping together, we can make it stronger and we can help each other. Just like the VHF Club, I support them because one, they have the repeaters, which I use. I belong to Kabara because I use their repeaters too. And Jeff, I'm not at all interested in being in leadership. I just want you to know that right up front. But getting together with others to support the common activities is important because we can't, depending on individuals to do it, eventually wears them out if they don't have the support. That's why.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you all have touched on many things, and I'm going to go over. Anybody else want to speak up before I go on? Peter, did you have something to say?
I guess I would just probably echo what Mel said and everybody else, and then add that one of the things I think is a huge benefit is just the QST magazine and the monthly articles, and that always kind of motivates me, and I keep up on what's new in in amateur radio. So that's one thing I appreciate. And then of course the reference book that Jeff mentioned, and anytime I have a question, there's a book written on it somewhere, and so it's a heck of a reference. And Mel, I think had a really good point that they represent the interest of amateur radio, and basically from the get-go back in the 20s or 30s, whenever ARRL started, they really are the ones that champion amateur radio and have gotten us where we are right now and help keep us there. And hopefully we'll keep opening up new frequencies and such for us to use and expand our expertise. So that's what I had.
All right. So as far as the ARRL is the National Association of Amateur Radio in the U.S., founded in 1914 by the Hiram Percy Maxim. And so that's where that all started, because in 2014, there was the big 100-year anniversary. So ARRL, I'm going to share my screen. Yes, I talked to myself. Okay, there we go. Can everybody see that screen? Okay, very good. So ARRL's mission, and y'all touched on it, is to advance the art, science, and enjoyment of amateur radio. So the vision statement for amateur radio is to support the awareness and growth of amateur radio worldwide. DXing. Is amateur radio just in the US? No, it's worldwide. And it's a community worldwide. Very similar interests, very similar expectations when you're on the radio. I appreciate that. It advocates for meaningful access to radio spectrum. There's a lot of spectrum out there. It's getting cut down and cut up in little pieces, but we have a piece. It strives for every member to get involved, get active, and get on the air. It encourages radio experimentation and through its members advances radio technology and education and organizes and trains volunteers to serve their communities by providing public service and emergency communications. The vision statement. Got it. So the ARRL is built on 5 pillars. And I'm just going to speak through these. So we talk about there's public service. So public service is obviously there's amateur radio emergency services, there's Skywarn, there's turning the page, public service, working with served agencies. The ARRL themselves have ham aid. I think we heard a lot about that when there was the hurricane that affected Puerto Rico and the amateur radio stations, the amateur radio equipment that was provided during disasters. That's all amateur radio, the ARRL supported equipment. The ARRL National Traffic System handles written messages via several modes of communication. Now, I don't think we have a lot of NTS work around here, but there is still message handling that we should be doing. Okay. Public service includes knowing about your equipment, how you could set up your equipment, what you need. So you take your equipment and you're going to go out and respond to something. Commonly, you use a power pole connection that you can plug into somebody else's power supply that's already set up. Building dual band J-pole antennas and having more technical topics that's having to do with public service. I'm not doing well here. All right, that's public, and it also emergency communications training. Radio clubs are under public service, instructors and examiners, and the ARRL field organization itself. There's many levels of the field organization, and that's public service. What we do for our communities as well as what we do for other amateurs. Leave it there. Advocacy. So advocacy, the ARRL, with working with the FCC and working with government, they fight for our spectrum to ensure that we have the frequencies that we need, that we want to use, that they work through interference resolution issues. They're working with the wireless industry. They work with for FCC rules enforcement. We have clarity on our frequencies because we have rules enforcement. And then again, the International Amateur Radio Union, so that we're all on a very similar page. They advocate for the antenna zoning that we have, now, and not to lose any of that, or gain as much as we can related to where you're living, and do you have that, I don't want to say freedom, but do you have the option? If you move into an HOA, can you put up an antenna? Well, HOAs may have limits on that. That's a area that still is going to be looked at, that needs to be looked at, because again, shouldn't have too much limitation there, because amateur radio operators do provide a service, and we should be able to do what we can, reasonably accommodate it. As far as FCC rules enforcement, they're the ones that work with our licenses. We apply and renew our licenses. They grant vanity call signs. The ARRL members have options about renewing their licenses. The ARRL has a volunteer council and volunteer consulting engineers that are available to provide information, answer questions. They have a lot of knowledge. Education, so they spoke about books, videos, and CDs, and online training. There's buttons forward. There we go, back up. Recruitment, mentoring, licensing, VEs. ARRL is a VE coordinator and supports the test sessions. There's ham radio news. They have youth activities, the ARRL. Move on. Technology. Again, the ARRL wants the advancement of the art and science. They want people to experiment, advancing the radio art, experimentation, education, digital communications, the ARRL library. Ooh, man, too many buttons. The ARRL laboratory, they have technical information services, trusted product reviews, radio spectrum, and RFI EMC engineering. When we mentioned publications, so you mentioned you'd like to read the QST every month, and so on my little picture screen, I don't know if you can still see it. So yes, there's the QST, and it comes out every month, and they have good information in there, and they got a lot of good ads. For those that are interested in contesting, there's a National Contest Journal, and this comes out bi-monthly, talking about contesting results. Or maybe you're one of those person that wants to do experiments. Again, this is a bi-monthly, but this is a journal that is available to amateur radio operators. And I think for the new amateur radio operator, so Scott, this is the one that you want. And as a benefit of signing up for the ARRL, this is a new magazine developed in last year. I'm thinking it's like last couple of years, On the Air. This is specifically designed for new amateurs. It brings, it talks, you don't have that long history, that institutional knowledge of what's going on. The QST is above your head. I like reading the On the Air because it brings things down to a level with information that I can understand and I can easily share. And it's a very good option. In this month's On the Air, topics include key pictures and paddle parks. So it's talking about here. It's talking about rubber ducky. It's talking about what is CW and why does it work so well. It's talking about HF propagation, the basics. And the reasons to try Morse code. Just because you're a new ham, you should just stop at a tech license. Try Morse code. How to protect your outdoor cable connections. And articles on amateur radio during communications or hurricanes. Okay. The publications are great. The books they offer at the ARRL store is very good. Let's see.
Joe, can I make a comment?
Yes.
While as a member, you can get one of these magazines sent to your home, you can actually access all of them electronically on the ARRL website as well.
That's very true. And thank you for bringing that up. I actually just found a note that wanted to make sure that I brought that forward. Yes, you can get one delivered to you, but you can look at all of them online. So membership. Membership includes the magazines, operating awards, contests, technical and regulatory information, equipment insurance. So there are licenses and there are hams. ARRL members are hams discovering and exploring the facets of amateur radio. Sharpen your skills, grow your knowledge, your base, expand your experiences, become an ARRL member. Okay. So there are benefits to ARRL membership. Learning. Again, we just spoke about the 4 magazines that are offered. And as a member, you can review them online. There's the Learning Network webinar series. These are very experienced, knowledgeable presenters, recorded material that you can listen to at any time. Equipment testing and product reviews, reading them in the magazines or contacting the ARRL technical specialists, and they'll help you out with this. E-newsletters, including the weekly ARRL letter. There are a lot of different newsletters that you can sign up for. The latest one is a club newsletter. These are what the On the Air magazine, again, good topics, good information, well written. The benefits of the services of the ARRL. We talked about the technical information service supported by the lab, free FCC license modifications and renewals, ongoing QSL service, email forwarding service, KA7LJQ at ARRL, well, I'm now at .org. That will always be there. I can always use that. ARRL sponsored contests, events, and awards, and members only pricing on select items. If you're a shopper or if you want some. And we talked about a community. So there's 2,500 plus radio clubs. Eastern Washington, we have 20 clubs. The membership directory, you connect to people worldwide. Supports ARRL supports the amateur radio on the International Space Station. Teachers Institute of Wireless Technology, Foundation Scholarship Programs, Collegiate Amateur Radio Initiative. We have affiliate partners with an equipment insurance program. As an individual, my amateur radio equipment, I have this insurance. Yes, my homeowner's insurance may cover it. My vehicle insurance may cover it. But when I have the amateur radio, it's very, very reasonable and they cover it. No questions asked. Got radio taken out of my car, replacement, easy. Club insurance, liability insurance, mag-like dislike discount. So they're a recent partner, and you can get the logo on your Maglite. Leadership. So without the ARRL, amateur radio would not exist today. The national organization reaches individuals in where they're at and looks at us as a group of persons that want to participate in this hobby with this interest, and they're doing all that they can to support what we want to do, may want to do, and can do. As an individual, I appreciate an organization that wants to support what I want to do, the spectrum I want to get on, the legislative advocacy, antenna regulation and zoning, volunteer monitoring program, the volunteer monitoring program that's used to be the OO program, volunteer opportunities for you. If you want to be involved in field organization, in the Inland Empire Club, Harold is our affiliated club coordinator. And then Mary is an assistant section manager helping me out. Okay? There are volunteer opportunities if you want to do more. This slide was prepared in December, so I'm thinking it's fairly current. So there's 160,000 ARRL members. There are 15 divisions. We're in the Northwest Division. There's 71 sections. So if you guys do any DXing, you know that you got to find all those sections to win contests. I think you all can read the slide. What else is there? And the ARRL employs 100 people. The headquarters is in Connecticut. Our current Northwest Division director is Mike Rich. I'm going to mess up his call sign. W7VO, I hear in my background here. And KB7HDX, Mark, is our vice director for the section. No, excuse me, for the division, I think I might be better at answering questions about why you should think about being a member. Can I answer any questions? Because obviously I need to work on this presentation, and I appreciate your patience and letting me do this for the first time. I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay, I have one for you.
Okay.
How close were we to losing some of our frequency allocations to the military?
I haven't heard any chatter on that.
No, because I heard that Congress was wanting to take some of the frequency allocations away and designate them for the Marine Corps. But I heard there was the ARRL got involved and they put a stop to it, but I wasn't sure how close it got.
I don't know that. Hang on just a second.
Well, hey, Rich, I think part of what you're talking about is that we're a secondary user on 60 meters. And there was some, and that's where we share with the government. And if they have a need, then basically we get off and they have it. There was some talk about expanding that and lessening us. And then there was also something up in the like 3.5 gigahertz range or something, where we're losing part of that to the 5G, cellular network. So I know they're fighting that, and I think we got a short reprieve on that, but I'm not so sure. So there's stuff going on all the time where they're defending our as we call it, the spectrum of what we're authorized to be on. That's an ongoing battle. I don't think we'll ever stop.
The 3 gigahertz is that spectrum has already been allocated for 5G. We were a secondary user on that. And what they're really arguing over is whether we can continue to be a secondary user until those frequencies are used for 5G. Right now they are allocated. I think they're actually sold, but they haven't been used yet by the companies.
Okay. Better stated than me. That's good.
Okay. I have a resource that is willing to try and answer questions. KA7LJQ, our vice director. If anybody has any specific questions related to losing the frequencies to the military that was stopped.
I didn't hear the first part of the question. So.
Can you repeat that question again?
Yeah, I was reading, or not reading, but I was heard some conversation on the news that Congress was trying to reallocate some of the ham radio bands and reallocate them to the Marine Corps.
I stick my head in sideways. Haven't heard that. What specific frequencies are you talking about?
I thought there was something up in the 160 meter band, and or maybe like Peter said, maybe it was the 60 meter band. I'm not sure, but I thought maybe it was the 160. But anyway, the Congress had the brakes put on them, so that conversation got muted. So I lost track of it. That was probably 6 months ago.
Okay, I haven't heard anything about that. So if you have any particulars, you could email them to me. I can certainly find out, but I have not seen any chatter on that anywhere. So that's news to me.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else with a question about the benefits of becoming a member? I can try and work through those. Harold?
Yes, I have one comment. If you're traveling back in the Newington, Connecticut area, stop by the headquarters and visit. They're happy to show you around there. And if you bring your license with you, they'll let you operate the
W1AW.
W1AW. Yes, I did that and made a contact on there too.
Yes, yes.
They're very happy to show you around the operation.
They're very, yes. Okay. So Chris, excuse me, you're not Chris, you're Scott. Membership is $49 a year. $4 a month. Lots of benefits that are offered. I encourage you to consider it.
I will do that. I have one question though.
Go ahead.
You were mentioning about the equipment insurance.
Yes.
Is that separate from your $49 fee? And is it, how much do they decide? Do you, if you bought $1,000 worth of equipment versus $5,000 equipment, is it incrementally more as you purchase more equipment? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. It is a separate from the ARRL membership. It's through, I think, is it still Mercer? Mercer Insurance. And it is based, the amount you pay is based on the amount of equipment that you owned, the thousands of dollars. It's very reasonable. It's not like I have a whole lot, but I'm like less than $60 a year for insurance, and it's all hazard insurance for your radio equipment.
Joe, this is Frank Hutchison. I just got done reevaluating my insurance, and it's all based on what you declare.
Oh,
and the
true.
value that you declare. So if you buy your equipment used, you can just list the price that you paid, and that's what they accept. It's really easy to do. It's almost like a spreadsheet, and then they do the calculation. Mine actually went up to $86 only because I just got done fitting out my trailer and I had a lot more stuff. So I went from about $60 to $86. But it's only like I think $1.60 per $1,000.
And as far as being all hazard, it includes lightning damage. And because my homeowners does not include lightning damage. So it would be a benefit. Anything else, Scott?
No, I think, I'm just gonna have to poke around and see, right now I'm just very new to this. I just got myself a little HT, working with that, testing for my general here. I'm not soon. I'm just studying for my general right now. So I think, it's definitely, there's a lot of pros for joining the ARRL. So I'll take that into consideration and make a decision here in just a bit, next couple days or within a week or so, and go from there.
All right, very good. Encourage people to go to the ARRL.org website. There is a lot of very valuable information. I'm going to go, let's see if I can figure this out. Go back to sharing my screen. Share. Okay, now if I can make this big. All right, so the ARRL website, lot of valuable information in there. Obviously, as a member, you sign in as a member, and it knows who you are. But even if you're not a member, so let's see if I logged out. Oh, we have to hit the button. There you go. So you log out. There's still, you can get in here and find information about licensing, education, and training, what's available, how to get licensed, how to upgrade, test locations.
I would like to say, Chris, this is Jeff, by the way, NC2S, that just the $4 a month for the magazine, the magazine alone is worth that, whichever of the magazines you get. And the fact that you can get all of them online and go back and, get information that you may have forgotten, and that kind of stuff, looking at the on-air one, or the QST, or if you're a nerd like me, go to the QEX one. So any one of those magazines is worth the $4 a month alone.
Yeah, I also have a comment for Scott. With the Inland Empire VHF radio amateurs, we have a certain percentage of our members need to be ARRL members as well, which allow us to keep our insurance to put on events like the Ham Fest and whatnot. So it's really important for our club too to have as many ARRL members as we can to help keep that insurance up.
Need to have 51% to maintain that affiliation and get all that, the benefits to be a club affiliated with the ARRL. As you can see, so this is where we were talking about other books, other materials available, lots of information in there, and many things have special prices. Easily search, even if you're not a member, you can search for what you're interested in, go by category. It's a usable site. Sometimes you do have to push a second button, but you can find things on the website to answer questions. But as a member, you have more resources available to you. So, anything else? Any other comments?
Joe, this is Frank again. I have a question. Right now, we don't have a district EC for District 9.
That's true. Wait a minute. A DEC.
A DEC, yeah.
DEC, correct.
Yeah. Is there any prospects of getting one?
I think we're looking for a volunteer. So our section emergency coordinator is Randy Thomas, K7RHT, and he's in Kittitas County. He is looking for volunteers to be that district emergency coordinator. And Randy is very interested in helping all the counties to work with their emergency management agencies to ensure that we will be called upon when needed or asked, and that we will have the training that we need to step in and work with them. But again, the DEC, we need one. We need one over there in District 9. We actually just got one for District 8, and he's a transplant. His name is also Randy. He's a transplant from Western Washington.
Thank you.
But we're working on trying to find a DEC. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, what are their qualifications for?
I gotta go back to the webpage. Hang on here. I don't need to do that. Okay, there it is. So the district emergency coordinator is appointed. Requirements need to be a tech license or higher, ARRL membership. The achievement of level 3 qualifications related to Aries must, within 1 year of the issuance of the document of appointment as DEC, whichever comes. So responsible for training, organization, emergency participation of coordinators in the district of jurisdiction is made to be defined. Coordinate response efforts between local Aries groups. Act as a backup for ECs. Provide direction and routing and handling of emergency communications of either a format or tactical nature. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I thank you for letting me share time with you tonight. I hope I have provided some information, and I appreciate you all sharing, because I think Scott probably learned more from you than he did from me.
All right,
Appreciate
well, thank you. Joe, I'd like to thank you very much for your presentation and your time and consideration to our club. So thank you very much for this evening, and look forward to future presentations from you.
Well, presentations or in person, I'm looking forward to Spokane, I guess, this year, right? Yes?
Well, we
Yes?
hope so.
Yes?
We hope
Yes, I
so.
want to.
We hope so, yeah.
I want to be there for Spokane.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for the opportunity. So as this is your club meeting, you may be doing more club stuff. So I'm going to bow out, and again, thank you all. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
right.
Bye-bye now.
All right, thank you.
very much.